Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 190, and today we're going to be doing battle with the Bow TK. And so, if you're not familiar, if you didn't watch our initial video on the release of the Darken Saga Domination, I was really quite impressed with a handful of the new cards in terms of using them with the OTK shell that you get out of Riven. And so if you need a bit of history, the Fizz Riven deck is something that we're quite fond of here with the channel. I've played it in seasonals multiple times, but the thing that you find with Fizz Riven, especially now that the Papercraft Dragon costs 6, is that you get a lot of your OTKs without the Papercraft Dragon. You just put together these really big turns to where Riven attacks for 14 or 16 damage, and then that's enough for the OTK, and you don't need the Papercraft Dragon to hit for the full 20. But with the release of Varus, this is something I thought that would fit into the combo quite nicely. Spoiler alert, it does. And just having this champion that can grow to a very large size and then deliver OTKs in kind of the same vein. Now, the thing with Varus is he has leveled up quite easily with all of the Reforge cards. Playing 3 and 4 Reforge cards in the turn will almost assuredly flip the Varus. And then you're usually having kind of two big units lined up coming in for the OTK. And then the kind of extra big thing with Varus is once he's flipped, all of your combat tricks just do a humongous amount of damage, right? Your Elixir of Wrath now deals 5 points of damage. Things like Brother's Bond can come in and deal 4 when you have that additional spell cast, giving the Darkened Bow +2 attack. And so it's a lot of really nice synergies coming together, but it's not just the addition of Varus to this deck to where we're really catching our strength. There's a lot of new cards within the set that really add to these kind of themes. We have the new card in Rune Squire, very, very powerful as this kind of early play with the Reforge, but it also plays fantastically with a lot of the other things that are going on in this deck, right? It's not just an additional Reforge, but you can give it an equipment, make a really powerful, challenging attacker. You can use the quick attack Reforged Fragment to potentially win some combats. He's just all around a really good bruiser in this style of deck. And then we got access to a couple of other new cards here, along with the Expanse's Protection as a cheap spell shield. We have enough ways to equip our units to make this cost 2 pretty much all of the time. And then the Unending Wave is a fantastic card on our big OTK turn to help us fill up our hand with just extra stuff and go in for that big and final kill. And so, if you're familiar with the Fizz Riven deck, it should look, fairly familiar to you. A lot of the play patterns here are the same. The last thing that we've kind of fit in the deck that doesn't quite fit in those themes is the Darkened Ballista. It gives us an extra equip. We're not as explosive as the Fizz Riven deck, so we have some opportunities to get the additional value out of this. And then we're really looking for these equips to make sure that we can get usage out of our Momentous Choice double ups, the Expansive Protection, and the Unending Wave. And so that's it. That's what we'll be doing battle with today. So let's go ahead and head on in. But you all know what we have to do first. We have to pay that pay-to-win price, and it is certainly the time for the Rune Squire. The first one, the first edition of Premium Land coming out of the new set. It was meant to be you. It was meant to be a Noxus card all from the start. Am I right? So good stuff. Let's go ahead, head on into battle. The ranked queue is down, so we'll be playing in the normals. Oh, I take that back. The ranked queue is back up. It was down through most of my practice games, and so let's see what we head into. Fun battles, I'm sure. Let's just immediately run into like Annie Gen or Fizz Riven. Someone play, or not Fizz Riven, Annie Gen or Tokens or something. Someone that hasn't put any of the new cards into their deck yet. And cool, so Seraphine. Seraphine does strike you as something that would be quite powerful against what we're doing, given that like the Hookmaster and the Runeweaver and a lot of our units all have 1 health, but I found her to not be that worrisome as a defensive unit, and she just kind of is a small roadblock in our plan here. But with this, you could look to keep the Momentous Choice, but I think we need something a little bit higher powered, and so we're going to start looking for our champions and our other Reforge cards, but it's okay to hang on to the single Hookmaster, I think, so that we can get that equip early. There's Varus. We got all those high-powered cards almost immediately. Feels good, man. Feels good. So what did he pick? Quick attack. Can't interact with the quick attack, which is a bit unfortunate, but we'll make the best of it. We'll make do. And so I'm going to go ahead and add in the Hookmaster here. We're not going to be popping off with these Reforges next turn, But there's a good chance that we'll want to play Momentous Choice on the next turn, and so I want to go ahead and make sure we have the Momentous Choice doubled up, give our units a little bit of extra protection, help us level up our Varus a little bit quicker. There's lots of these great synergies coming in. What do we hit here? 2 attack is like, oh man, if we hit quick attack here, we can really pop off, but no biggie.
You're up, chum bucket.
He's got a Momentous Choice. We've got a Momentous Choice. The choices are momentous this game. So I don't suspect this Riven's going to stick around for too long, especially playing against P and Z, but you know, let's make them spend the mana. Let's make them put in the effort if they want to try and take down Riven. And then if they don't go for it, there's a pretty good chance we can just flip her next turn and make some exciting things come down and happen. All right, so like how big are we going to go next turn is I think the real question. Like we can add Varus now, and then it's like, do we really want to try and get things going with the Ruined Reckoner, which I'm not entirely opposed to. Again, I don't expect Riven to live, and if she does live, we can, you know, kind of reassess if we're going to be able to come out and immediately pop off. But I think this is okay to be a little bit slow here and go with the Varus. Well, we made it into the next turn. So where are we at? We're not going to have enough targets to get the Varus to flip, but we can play a Riven Sword. We definitely want Riven to be having quick attack this turn, right? She's most certainly going to attack. And so let's add a good unit to the board, see how he reacts, he doesn't. And then I think we'll just play the quick attack onto Riven and then be ready with a Brother's Bond. It is kind of interesting now that I look at it again, in that as soon as we start this attack, we'll be getting that additional point of attack, or that additional point of mana from our Ionian Hookmaster. So I think I do want to go ahead and level up the Riven. And now we can just directly attack, right? We don't have to drop the Blade of the Exile right now. Look at that. Just delivering that OTK damage on turn 5 already. Looks pretty good. Did he mess this up? Can we lethal through this? I assume he's going to have another spell here, but we get +6 damage out of this Brother's Bond, right? We get, I'm sorry, +5 because we're on the front side of Varus, but lots of opportunity for big power here. Master Yi single combat. It's kind of messed up, dude. Kind of messed up. All right, well, let's at least try and get Seraphine off of the board. But right, that's really interesting how these combat tricks work, right? When we have Varus on the board, we get to boost our other units, and then the bow levels up a little bit while we're at it. It's pretty impressive. Okay, so he protects his Seraphine. That's okay. Our next target will flip our Varus, and so we're getting like close to lethals on the next turn, right? If we're getting to attack with Varus flipped with the free attack from a Ruined Reckoner and then an open attack on the next turn, it's pretty high-powered stuff that's coming out. Ooh, that feels real good. Real good picking up the potential for spell shields. What's this dum-dum do? Once you've equipped an ally this game, create a new spell that costs 2 in hand and set its cost to 0. Okay. Wow, he's attacking? Interesting. It's just like as we're about to come in with this big overwhelm damage, getting this trade onto the cultist is basically getting free damage, right? Sure. Either way, it's still the same thing. He's going to have to block the Varus, and if we get to deal 5 damage to the cultist, that's less overwhelm damage than he's going to be able to deal to us on the next turn. So let's just go big. We're going to drop the Blade of the Exile on Varus. He doesn't really need it, right? He's already got Quick Attack and Overwhelm, but it's going to let us just come in for more damage. I don't suspect for 3 mana he's going to have an answer. I guess we do have to worry about that new bounce spell now. That would be pretty pretty horrifically bad, I guess. But maybe we should have not played the sword and then kept the mana up for the Expanse's protection. Now that I'm thinking that that 3-mana bounce spell exists. Well, let's see what happens. Just a Nopify. Okay. We didn't have to suffer from too much of a learning moment. Beautiful stuff. What do we got? Varus. Oh, Varus was the cultist. No combat tricks out of the other thing, but we're still looking pretty strong here. We have a Might in hand for the Ruined Reckoner. Again, that Might is going to give our Varus +2 attack, so it's like a +5 attack combat trick. And then we're still ready with the Expanse's protection in hand. Shit's choice. Look at that. See, it says he's coming to neg. He's only taking neg 9, but now after we play the Might, it's going to be like neg 18, 16 or so. Bust math coming at you. Got him. GG. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff.
One step closer to retribution.
All right. I dig it. I dig it. Glad we got that big attack in the first game. Combat tricks, man, they're so good with Varus. I love it. Let's see how this guy's approaching it. Varus with Pantheon. See if we can steal any of his ideas. His ideas aren't nearly as good as ours, but you know, might be something worth stealing in there. And much like we have with the other, with like the Fizz Riven style deck, the way I really like to mulligan is just going really hard on the Reforges, and then we can kind of make a decision after we have one or two. Like if we have a hand with 4 Reforges in it, then fine. We can really like pop off into big OTK land, but the Reforges and then whatever this guy is, the Forsaken Bakai, are going to be the things we're looking for in our opener. All right, and then I don't really want to just come in and trade the Rune Squire into the Bakai, so we'll lead out with the equip unit. Maybe we'll get a decent item. Scout's not spectacular here, but if you give us a few turns, it is spectacular with both Riven and Varus. You can replace the Darkened Bow on Varus. It's kind of sketchy, but it's an option. But you know, having a Scout Riven quite strong. Not opposed to it. All right, the big goat. Coming at us Tom Brady style, am I right? You got to get those football references in every once in a while. Let's just get this dum-dum off the board. All right, so we do have a pretty good shot at quick attack next turn, right? That's going to be one of the high-powered attack things that we'll be able to do, is giving either Rune Squire or giving Riven quick attack. I mean, if we hit it fast, we can get a Rune Squire. We're short on the health. I was like, if we have the Rune Squire with the Rake, and then we're able to give it Scout and quick attack, that all sounds really nice and strong, but I think we're a little bit short on that. Let's just start with the Bakai, and then we'll see if we want to move in on any of these other equipment. There is a Darkened Ballista in here to make the Bakai a little bit stronger. I think it would be kind of okay, but I'm really more interested in just the Momentous Choice. We've already got the equipments going in here, so I think we can set it back.
By my spear, the gods will no war.
Pantheon comes down, a little annoying. Shuts down our sweet Riven plays.
Good steel and a good future. Finally, want to show you some.
All right, well, we can build up to this stuff next turn. Yeah, we got the Rakes and the Varus. Got lots of targets happening. If he doesn't kill off Riven, then we'll have access to the Riven Sword on the next attack. It feels like pretty safe here, right? There's not a ton of interactivity. He's going to be coming at us with Pantheon, and so I feel fairly safe with this. It is a little scary with the scout thing hitting in, but I think that we can think to just like Brothers Bond here and look to block him with the Bakai. Let's make him start. If he equips with Scout and just passes, I think it's okay. All right, do we have lethal? This is the space we're in so fast. I think we're a little bit short, but if we want to play Varus, we'll have 5 mana behind. That gets us 2 fragments. We can play all of these cards, right? And that's a total of 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 or 5 targets. I think we're good.
There is so much power in us.
I think we're good. Somebody else can do the math. I don't know. I'm just gonna put our units out here in the middle, right? That's kind of fucked up. So we can't protect Varus out of this. All right. Well, we still have good plays on the round, and so we want to be putting the quick attack over onto the Rune Squire. You can put the Darkened Bows onto Riven. I've won many games like this. We just don't have the mana to fuck around with it, and so I'm looking at here to play Overwhelm +2 attack onto, or the +2 attack onto the. We're gonna put the Riven Sword onto the Rune Squire and try and quick attack challenge down Pantheon. Let me see here. Overwhelm onto Riven. I think we want to get the Squire up to 6 attack. We're not going to get a kill this turn. And so it's like if opponent has a combat trick, I don't want this attack into Pantheon to fail. I mean, now looking at this more, I'm curious if opponent spends mana here, because putting an upcycled Rake onto the Rune Squire is going to be pretty strong. All right, not worth it anymore. Just got all the stuns and shit. Okay, might be dead to this Pantheon now. As soon as he flips, he's going to be I guess he can't flip next turn, but he's going to be a problem. All right. Well, we at least got the problem off of the board. No more units. Cool. It should take him quite a bit of mana to refresh, be in a spot to where he can try and kill us. Dude has his own Varus. Nowhere near flipping, though. So how do we want to do our equipments here? We need to start getting equipments down. I'm not really worried about this Varus attack. He can play a Chain of Corruption if he has another one in hand, but I don't think we have to worry about that at the exact moment. We can lead with a Blade Squire. See what happens.
The dead do not want us to mourn, but live.
What good is mercy?
Sure. 3 damage coming in. Look at this. Look at this meaty Rune Squire. Scout, quick attack, overwhelm. He's got all the good stuff happening.
Know what rune weaving is?
All right, we should have plenty of combat tricks for this round. Not worried about this one. The only thing here is I don't want to be spending might, and I would like to be able to protect the Squire if we can with these momentous choices. So the first one we will play here is going to be this Elixir of Wrath, and then after the Elixir of Wrath, we can kind of pick and choose which one we want to bring. We have the opportunities to just kind of like get wider after we do this one. Is that ham enough? this is a unit we're going to be attacking with twice, so we can put like one more spell onto it. So we make this momentous choice, potentially deal more damage, and then it's also going to help level up the background Blade Squire with the bow. It's like I worry about him having another like strike card. Oh, we should be good. We should be good. We also get to add Varus here. He's super flipped at this point. Oof. Mm. Sounds good to me. He does take the bow back. You have to watch yourselves a little bit. It's not ultra important here, but if you are planning on this Blade Squire being the source of the damage, he's about to lose his bow. Cool.
Let this be a lesson to the rest.
The superior Varus deck. You saw it here first. Get excited, get amped, get hype. That's the good stuff right there. All right, in our first shot at Vayne, we've officially seen all the champions now. One of the champions across each of the games. Good stuff. So I think we'll hold on to the Hookmaster. You can like get rid of it if you really want to come in and mulligan hard for Reforges. I'm not entirely certain. This was a pretty bad mulligan, but I feel like having the one equip is quite strong. Right now it activates our momentous choices. We don't have to play the Dark and Ballistas to get it. What do we got? I'm leaning towards the spell mana one, just because I kind of want to come in and block this round. And then the way our hand has kind of come together without any of the challenger units, it gives us a little bit of survivability for the next round. All right, unit, please. Not find it. Uh-oh. This is bad. I did the analysis on this. This is not good. Now we do kind of completely lose out not having that, not having the way to spend this extra mana. Sad day. Jesus. All right, well, we're counting on you, Ruined Reckoner. You're gonna have to do some work today. Jeez. Jeez, this is not good. I think we're stuck just having to take this, but like, how are we ever gonna get a win out of this? I guess he's not going to be like super amped about blocking here with Gwen. I mean, maybe he is, I don't know, but it doesn't seem like he would be. Go ahead and get some of that mana back. Okay. Well, we certainly have a shot with what's in our hand. If we come up with another way to punch in some damage, we might be able to pull this off. I mean, what are we at? Like, I think we have to get the other unit on the board for the Brothers Bond. We've got like 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Can't cast all of that, though. All right, Rune Weaver.
Serve the greater good.
There she is, our guest of honor.
I've never been the guest of honor anywhere before.
It's like it gets us out of having to play Might with the Blade Fragment, but the other problem we run into here, I don't know if opponent's going to be, astute enough to pull it off, but if we technically attack here, we're only coming in for 13. He can just say, okay, no block, and not have to worry about it. But if he comes in and blocks, now we have some opportunities to get this extra damage in. I was kind of like contemplating if we wanted to play the Blade Fragment before combat. Lethal. Right, so that we could have put the Overwhelm on the Reckoner. But opponent's greed does not pay off today. Our shitty hand is enough to do it. GG. What do we got now? Some kind of dirty Aphelios deck? I can tell you what, I already hate it. Already hate it. Alright. Reasonable enough start, though. That equip unit is so important, right? Like, you can see how well our games flow when we have that equip unit. That's why I'm playing the Darkened Ballista. It's like, I haven't had too many situations here to where I'm like really excited about having the Darkened Ballista in our deck, but I have been like a little bit worried about missing on cards like the Unending Wave, and even more so missing on cards like the Momentous Choice, just by a lack of equips. But Runeweaver, reasonable enough draw, lets us play on curve. Again, if like opponent plays Seraphine here, it's not awesome, but it's not the end of the world, right? He's going to get a good block onto Runeweaver. But the big thing that this does is that, again, it drains their health. And so this kind of counts as dealing 3 damage to the opponent. So when the Seraphine rolls around to block our big overwhelms, the damage has already been dealt. And so I know it doesn't exactly work like that, but it's a way that these tend to feel. All right, our Riven should be safe. She's kind of a risky add to the board right now, but doesn't seem like opponent has a real great way to interact with her. Mystic shots and get exciteds and shit don't do anything to Riven, and so that's okay. And now we're gonna be like guaranteed to have all 3 fragments next turn, so we can do some really abusive things here with the Rune Squire.
Good steel and a good future.
Such strength, quick attacks, fragments, giving it equipments and everything. It's such a understated unit. Just looking at it, it doesn't look like it does that much, but holy shit, this dude has been bonkers. It's like when you first look at Petricite Broadwing and you're like, I guess, it doesn't seem that special, but it doesn't seem terrible. And then once you play with it, it's like, holy fuck, why did they start this thing out at 4 health? Let's get him in here. We'll go ahead and try and take down this Seraphine. We could have looked to, say, protect our Riven a little bit, right? And so if he wants to block with Seraphine and puts it on Riven, then she'll be a little bit protected from the likes of a Mystic Shot. But I felt like getting her off of the board against a deck that seems pretty dedicated in flipping her was a little bit more important. But it does unfortunately now put her in range of things like Mystic Shot. What's this thing do? Attack, create a new 2-cost spell in hand, make it fleeting. Okay. Got it. We definitely have an OTK in hand. Just most certainly have it. So here, this is a little bit different, right? We've been talking about attaching this damage onto Seraphine so that whenever we come in with this Overwhelm attack, she's already weakened. But now in this space to where he doesn't currently have anything to get in the way of Rune Squire, we can just hook Seraphine out of combat and not have to worry about that 5 health. And so I don't exactly want to be throwing away the Bakai here. And the Moon Boy. Sure, he only has 1 mana though.
The stronger your shadow.
Alright, and so we're not going to be able to get the kill this round, but we can still make some pretty powerful attacks. And so I'm looking to say, we've already used 1 quick attack, so we're going to be losing out on it just a little bit, but we can quick attack the Squire. Where are you at? +2 attack. Squire. Then the question comes in, do we want to play the sword? And I'm like a little hesitant to play the sword because it gives him the opportunity to then play the stun or the 3 damage to units or whatever, and we're a little bit short of the lethal at this point. And so we're gonna leave Riven at home and then just come in with everyone else. You can just boom in and try an OTK here, but it feels a little bit dangerous against this mountain of cards that dude has in hand. And I'm not quite willing to just run into it. Get a stun onto the Runeforger. I mean, I wonder if we should have just stopped here. Like, let's stop and reassess and say, hey, can we win the game? This is what we got. We got 3-6 in hand. That'll get us up to 8 more damage. Gonna be a little bit short. Okay. Man, we should have just attacked with Riven. It was like I knew that we were close with all these Elixir of Wraths in hand, but it just felt like a little dangerous against a deck that's going to be playing like Hushes and Mystic Shots and stuff. But, man, we would have been like really close here. But the positive thing with our hand, though, is we're now just slamming in a ton of extra damage, right? We play the Might that makes the Varus get up a little bit bigger. His bow should be about maxed out. Not quite. But we have the refill on the next turn with the Unending Wave. Still got a Bro to drop in the Ionian Hookmaster. All the Seraphines coming out of Dude.
Jack said there'd be contenders out here.
All of them. He drew all 3. Crazy. So the next thing to be looking at with our hand is we're going to be able to spend all of our mana on the next turn. And so we're like a cultist away from picking up a Varus. I don't remember if we played like 2, but we can definitely get up to 3 cultists on the round and draw our Varus out of our deck. And then we're going to have access to the Chain of Corruption. So we'll be able to kind of pop off and spend all of this mana on our next attack. We can hook these dum-dums out of combat however we want. We should be able to put together a really threatening attack on this next turn. Just tons and tons of way to spend the mana. We can also look to just flip Riven this turn. Maybe play a Riven Sword this turn, so we just have another really big open attack next turn. Double stun, okay. Seraphine and KDA. Do we get a new KDA season this year? I don't know. I don't know how all those things work. We've got the... We can pick up the Spell Shield off the top of our deck if we need to. I don't really want to Unending Wave this turn, but if we need to, it's there.
It's an awesome day for progress.
Alright, that's a Riven Sword. Now, do we actually want to put it onto Riven? Like, I'm kind of interested in just boosting up the Bakai with the Riven Sword, or boosting up the Hookmaster. Instead of going on Riven, I still just worry about her getting popped by a 2 damage burn spell. All right. Got a cat trying to hang out. He's gonna dig his claws in. Can't wait. Oh, he gets double crescendum. Cute. Don't feel like I care, but you have been granted cute status. All right, let's boom him. Ooh, we picked up a fresh Overwhelm fragment. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, Overwhelm onto Riven. That's going to flip our Varus.
I am more than this. We are more.
Go ahead and draw 2. That's going to pick up the other Varus into our hand. Brothers Bond and Riven. Beautiful, beautiful. That shit looks good. Oh, we didn't pick up a Varus. Did we already draw one? Or do we need another cultist for that? No, whatever.
Violence to end violence.
Whatever. Enjoy, my dude. What's our bow at? At +6, so we can get another 4 attack out of Varus this turn. It's pretty cool. I did the mathematics on if it was cool, and it was.
My
Must we fight?
Oh my god. Come on, dude. Come on. Nope. You all know how it goes. Scooch over so he can move in, and then he just runs away. Runs to the other side. Dumbest cat. This looks pretty good. Oh wow, this doubles everything. Oh, it's the first time you've played a card, so it's a new spell in the Twin Disciplines. He's still just going to get boomed here. We have infinite damage coming out of our hand. It's technically +6 with the elixir to go on Riven. That would be +8 coming out of the Varus. Just 8 mana for one. 8 damage for 1 mana. Is that a good deal? Someone let me know if that's a good deal. I'm pretty sure it is. Watch this. Fuck you, buddy. Doing neg 4. Let's upgrade that a little bit. Neg 12 coming at you. Put a little salt on it. Feels good. These only deal 1 damage. We're ready with this thing. Cool. Back to neg 14. Feels good. Cupcake him. Mark it a W. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff.
One step closer to retribution.
Oh my gosh. Let me get this cat. Pause the video. Got him. We got him. Do y'all need some cat today? Here. Here he is. Says, what up, internet? I'm very dumb. I didn't get to go to kitty college. Poor guy. Poor guy. Alright, so good stuff. What's this? More Varus Pantheon? People didn't get the memo, I guess. Nobody likes to play Reforges. They're gonna have to watch the old FTP bust video tomorrow and learn the ways of the OTKs. OTKs done proper. You know what's better than Targon? Let me tell you, it's Noxus. I bet you all are watching this video and you're just wondering, why doesn't he have Legion Rearguard in that deck? It's a valid question. It's a valid question. I'll give you that. All right, we got the equip. So it's a pretty scary Saga Seeker. I'll give him that. What do we got in here? Nothing that I really want. It's tough. We could probably get some usage out of the Sandsworn Amulet. In that if they start to go like a little bit wide with the Saga Seeker, or if they add a if they add like excuse me, the Wandering whatever, the Wandering Wizard out of out of the other faction. God, what is it? I'm trying to think. The 2 mana equip, the 3 mana equip for a 2/2. There you go. The Wandering Wizard. If he's got one of those, we're ready for it.
It's my time.
All right, ready for combat tricks here. This is a decent Brothers Bond if he's only going to Pale Cascade Saga Seeker. The 3 health makes it a little worrisome, but we can still win through this. Give me those double targets for Varus. Feels good. Sure. Oh my god. This cat, he's coming back. I set him down. He immediately wants to come back. But not bad. Not a bad little bit of chip damage. You know, it's easy to forget cards like Brothers Bond and how good they can be. We also have this quick attack in hand, so if we keep this Saga Seeker whittled down, we'll have pretty safe attacks with Riven next turn, or if we go for 2 units next turn, have the ways to if we go for 2 units next turn, we'll have like multiple attacks for quick attacks, multiple targets for quick attacks.
Anyone seen any sheep around here?
Here we go. Here's the Wandering Wizard. I was pretty close. I was pretty close in terms of the name.
Words of power linger in the air.
Oh my god. All right, he dealt some damage. Good job. Let's get this Riven going.
When will I find
Remember, it's often appropriate to tell your opponent good job after they deal some damage. Say, "Ooh, you so strong. Good job." All right, let's get this meaty Riven into combat. I'm a little worried. Let's just bring it all. It's like I'm a little worried about him having a strike card in hand, right? If he's got the cultist strike to hit Riven with, that would be a little worrisome. This is odd. Well, I guess this is his biggest damage prevent, but really,
Are you the one?
this is a choice. Sure. So we get a big clear out on the board. Now we're getting set up for this next turn to load Riven up with the sword, get some free attacks. We don't have to attack with her next turn. We can double up on the next round, but we definitely want to be getting set up with this Riven. Comes in with Varus. Makes sense. I worry like a little bit about Chain of Corruptions, but We've already played the quick attack. We only need 2 fragments to level up our Riven. So we could like get her leveled up and then add a Ruined Reckoner. I'm not amped about it. Let's just add Varus. Like his attack is meaningless, right? If he has Chains of Corruption, right, a second copy of Varus in hand, then that'll be a little bit awkward. But I think we're good to just like 2 bank into the next turn with the Spell Shield card in hand, and then look to drop the Riven Sword next round. We're definitely flipping our Varus next turn.
In empty moments I hear them clamoring to be free.
What you got, Duder? He says, "Oh shit, I'm about to get OTK'd, aren't I?" So this dude's cards work way better than Pantheon. Oh no. All right, we're free to just load up on Riven this round. She's just powerful enough. Maybe. Oh, we put the +2 attack on her. That's okay. I want to put the Overwhelm onto Little Dude because I'm going to put the Riven Sword onto Riven, and then Varus is going to get the bonus whenever he flips. And so he doesn't need quick attack or Overwhelm. Now, the downside for all this stuff is if we want our Varus to flip, we need to play a card. And if we play a card, then we may not be able to play the Ruined Reckoner. It's tough. I'm leaning towards just going for the Reckoner. Let's see what happens. Give him a chance to play some more stuff. See if we need to spend the Spell Shield. Alright, so here's the Varus flip.
I am more than this. We are more. It's my time. We deliver their end.
So, right, lots of options. If he comes in and plays a bunch of shitty combat tricks or something, then we should know that we're safe to follow up the Ruined Reckoner. If he tries to block and then throw down some kind of strike card, then we have the Spell Shield to go for it. Oh, is that a Frostbite? That's brutal. I guess we didn't have all the answers this round. F. Alright. I was like, this one's done. Easy peasy. Maybe you gotta slow our roll a little bit. Can put the Darkened Bow onto Riven, though. That's a big load of stats that can get added to her. It's already at +4. What happens? How does she work? The first time you increase my power, increase it by twice the amount. And so if we put the Darkened Bow onto Riven, does that make her now have like +6? Does it give her some kind of permanent bonus? Alright, how fucked up is this? We still have a ton of damage in hand. As long as we don't get OTK'd here and don't lose our Riven. It's tough, like, if he has these, like, the second Varus to where he can throw multiple chains onto Riven, then we're kind of, like, lacking in what we're able to do. Oh, he's got the hook from his Pantheon flipped and hit Challenger. Nothing we can do about him. You might still be able to get kills with Ruined Reckoner, though.
A single empire ruled by the true king.
Right, so he's gonna be hooking Riven with Pantheon. As long as he doesn't have the lethal outside of that, we might be okay. He's coming in for exactly 15, I will insta-pass. We fall to 1. He shouldn't have a way to just deal a point of damage. And so I'm not gonna risk our Ruined Reckoner taking a hit here. Alright, there's the 10 one would need for lethal. We'll play the Midnight Raid, and then we'll have this Elixir of Wrath in the background as the kind of backup answer here. Oh shit, he doesn't have Overwhelm. We didn't play our Overwhelm fragment. Oh, fuck me. God damn it. We should have won this game. This one's just completely on me. We didn't add the Overwhelm to him, now we don't deal damage. That's... you know, I'm gonna mark it a 0.5. That's only half of a loss. That one's on me for not dropping the Overwhelm fragment. We should have totally won that. Don't blame it on the deck. Blame it on the blame it on Bust. All right, on to the next one, though. I think I just want to get rid of these Darkened Ballistas. We've never wanted to play it at any point in any of these games, and that opens up a little bit more space for the remainder of our deck. And so it's like I'm not opposed to taking out the Ballistas, adding in something like another Brother's Bond. I don't think we really want this Entrancing Lure either, and so it's something to think about. May just want another... Like, I wouldn't be upset to have another Spell Shield card. And we could kind of figure it out from there. Now, with these games, I've been kind of interested. You'd expect the Overwhelm equipment to be quite good. I've just felt like we've never needed it, and I've been much happier with the Shepherd's Authority. So that's what we're going to take here. Not too worried about this damage coming in from Caitlyn Timo. And see if we can't pick up some free damage on this next round. Don't feel quite ready to add Riven.
Me, miss? Not by a long shot.
Now the question is, do we want to trade for this Caitlyn? I'm not opposed to it, but like this is a deck that should have a lot of trouble keeping us from OTKing, and I feel like just having the Elixir of Wrath for damage with Riven is a little bit more important than taking Caitlyn off of the board. Alright, well let's add Riven now, though. I don't want all of our dudes just getting boomed by boomed by the flashbang traps. We are the unluckiest people in the world as it comes to flashbang traps, and so we gotta be a little bit protective here. We got quick attack, Overwhelm. The next one will be a +2 attack, so we can flip Riven next turn if we want. See where we're at. We do have to worry about Wallops now that he's played double Conchologist. We'll see if it comes down to fruition and comes into mattering. Interesting. Do we want to just go for an OTK now? We can get Riven up to, with the flip, she'll be at 4, 7 with the Shepherd's Authority, 8, 9 with the +2 attack fragment, 9 + 6 is 15. She should be up to 17. Alright. My math is never wrong. We probably don't have the mana to do all this stuff, but... Right?
Make these pieces whole.
How close were we to doing that completely right? She's up to 9. Whoever... Actually... We can give her +6 attack up to 15. And then weapon hilt. We're unprotected from wallops in this route, though. I'm going to add the blade and see what happens. We can still get up to 17 this way. I did math that correctly. Or no, we can't. We're only at 16. One short. That bust math. Let me tell you, that bust math. I think we're still okay, though. The 17 route came from playing the Elixir of Wrath first, I do believe. We only got +4. We're losing out on a little bit of bonus attack there. But this is fine. I assume he just no blocks. There's not a ton of value in it. He just has to be killing us on his next turn. He's thinking on it, though. Real hard. Alright, next round. That's tough. Little dangerous. A little too dangerous for my tastes. Like, I don't feel like he's going to be able to kill us this round, and so the necessity just going for the full OTK wasn't that big. Oh shit, he can't even block. Riven can't block. I forgot about that piece of the puzzle. We might just be dead here and get burned out. Y'all know what time it is. You know what you got to do. You got to squeeze them butt cheeks right now. That's what you got to do against the puff caps. He's only got 11 in deck, so it's not the scariest thing in the world, but something to definitely worry about.
Karina, what brings you here? Business and pleasure, Sheriff.
Okay.
I aim to win, and my aim...
Why wouldn't you just do that before combat? You've been totally dead from this Caitlyn. Alright, squeeze him.
What conflict awaits?
Oh, he's gonna no block this, isn't he? No. Alright, we lethal yet? Not yet. We probably should have played one of these. We should have played this stuff before we attacked, so we could have gotten the +2 attack fragment in there, but let's see if it's enough. Learning moment for everyone out there. Got him.
I know what I must do.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Not a bad set of games. Yeah, we messed that up just a little bit in there, but felt pretty good otherwise. On to Vayne Gwen. Is this the same guy as earlier? I don't remember. I wasn't paying attention to the names. If you're not dropping names on me like Butt Stuff 420, then it's pretty tough for me to pretty tough for me to come out here and remember it. But with this, I think we want to hang on to all of these units. It's fairly important to be able to come down early and interactive against this deck, and so I'm definitely happy to hang on to Runeweaver, probably the Hookmaster as well. The one I was considering not keeping was the Rune Squire, since it doesn't it doesn't like get a ton of good hooks in this match. But I think it's okay. Quick attack's fantastic here.
Please, make yourself right at home.
Okay.
Break their spirits and their swords.
Laurent Protege. Not the unit I was expecting here. I don't think it's worthy of an Elixir of Wrath, but maybe we should. It's like well, he's gonna have a tough time killing it with Varus next turn. Or he's gonna have a tough time killing Varus with this, so I think it's okay. We also get to kind of back into this Rune Squire plus Fix Him Up, and then we don't have to spend all of our burn.
No more mud for me. No way.
No more mud for me. Oh, this is the, what's his name? The one cost, the Blade Squire. The Blade Squire becomes the Rune Squire. It says, I'm cold, I'm hungry. I got mud in my boots. And then he makes poop jokes. So he's an all-around favorite unit of the channel. Short. This isn't like super ideal, but this feels like a pretty good Cataclysm for us. If he's going to have trouble adding stuff to the board this turn, he loses his Challenger unit. We got that extra card out of it, and then we actually, picked up a Fragment plus the Fix Him Up there. So I think that was probably pretty reasonable.
Beauty in the blade.
Leaning towards the Ruined Reckoner out of these. We're pretty far away from flipping our Varus, but he's going to be our OTK tool this game.
Harry, riposte, you are toast. Hardly fair.
Okay.
Bloodshed is the only way, isn't it?
Beautiful. No more Cataclysms. That feels nice. We got anything else cool happening here? I don't think so. I want to start playing some cards, but feels like just a little bit of chip damage is all we need on this round. Okay. It's interesting seeing things like this happen because we don't lose the attack on our bow now, right? It gets to build up a little bit more. It's kind of cool. You see him drop stuff like this, and you're like, okay, can we OTK now? We're a little bit short. All right, I guess we're not going to go for it. All right, our Varus doesn't have Overwhelm, which is the kind of pain point on this board. We can make him big, right? We can pop off the Riven Sword. We have the 3 fragments, but feels a little preemptive here.
Run them through.
Varus about to get rocked. You fought hard, dude. You fought hard. Now we have to get a big round of damage in now. We can't just pass with all of these spells and nothing to do. So let's see. We'll put Darken Bow on our friend. You're going to get all the items from the Riven Sword. Going to look to just send in a big attack here and then open attack next turn. So +2 attack. You got it. Quick attack. Got it. Overwhelm. Got it. Do we even want to drop the sword? Have the Elixir of Wrath. I think this is probably the way to go. The worrisome thing here is, like, say he has a Black Spear, can we still win the game? Maybe. We have the +2 card draw for the turn, but it would be kind of tough. And it's like if we hold on to the Riven Sword, it still gives us some opportunity for the next turn. But he didn't have a Cataclysm there. I feel like we're probably okay. Right? Nothing could go wrong. That makes me feel a lot better. Thought we were going to have the opportunity to play a Darkened Ballista, but it doesn't appear to be in the cards today. Got him. Okay, the final battle coming upon us. Game number 8. Feeling good. Been having a pretty good run with this one. This is some good stuff here. It's got a little bit of tuning to do to it, and I think we'll be in a pretty good spot. And then this is also a deck that, you know, as we're in this format, we have to think about how do we deal with Nami. And this is a deck that should perform quite well against the likes of Nami. And so I'm pumped. I'm excited. Drop the Bakai. I think we could take an equipment here. Like, our hand isn't very good, right? We just have Varus and we have a lot of stall. So let's take those kind of progressive stats here.
Come on, people, let's make tomorrow today.
I'm cold, I'm hungry, and there's rocks in me boots. I'll show the hunters.
All right, let's bring it. It's a little awkward with the Forged Chef coming on board, but I think we're fine. Right, we didn't want to just play, like, can't just play the Blade Squire and the Ballista and then have it trade into the Chef, so. At least gets to come down post-combat.
I will surpass these mortal constraints.
All right, Varus on board. Get to add Riven next turn. We can flip the Riven next turn if we want. We'll see. The thing with the Riven flip next turn is all of our units will be big enough to do battle with Victor, and so she feels pretty safe. We can't go for the full set, right? Do we have 7 mana? Oh, we can actually go for the big flip. Ooh, interesting, in Chains of Corruption as well. I think I still want to get Riven down, and then we'll decide from here. We could look to Chains of Corruption plus Quick Attack. Well, I guess we already have Quick Attack with Varus. Alright, so we want to give something vulnerable. We want that to be Varus. We want to give an ally +1 attack. We want that to be Riven. Varus is going to pick up +1 attack because we targeted a unit.
Their minds are so fragile.
The cost of war.
Now we have the good attacks, and do we want to quick attack our Riven is the next question. And I think I'm good with it. I don't want to lose her to a like a Mystic Shot after this combat.
I hate traffic.
Genius in action.
Okay. Painful. Painful. Now he has access to the Victor coming back in on Riven.
Of course. Electroblading completed.
Surprised to see him play slow spells here. Gives us the opportunity to do stuff like this where our Riven now wins a combat against Victor. If she doesn't win, she doesn't die. Right, then we need high-powered cards here. Not trying to... Oh boy, dude. Is this just like another Hex Obliterator? That's very aggressive, leaving our Riven on the board.
Make these pieces whole.
Alright, well... it's just like, if we go into the next turn and we're just like counting on the draw 2, we don't have access to the spell shield just yet. I think we need to just go for it. Like, this doesn't feel super safe, right? I would think opponent would be more worried about just getting OTK'd when they have like 8 cards in hand. Oh, he's playing Glorious Evolution, huh? Okay. You're not equipped, right? Okay. Let's see. Might and Ruined Reckoner. Well, this is another one of these unfortunate spots where we have to tip our hand before we attack. Otherwise, we just don't have enough damage, right? So this might be okay. We can follow back up with the Ruined Reckoner, but it's a little scary. But I mean, if he's not playing Hexbliterators or removal spells in that combat, then I think we're probably safe, right? He had like 1,000,000 mana last turn. He chose to play the Augmented Assault instead of playing like a Thermogenic Beam. And then we rolled into this turn. He gave up his Victor, didn't play anything in the middle of combat. Like, I feel like we're probably safe. Seems like it, right? I'm not crazy here. He's doing stuff. I don't know what these cards even do. What do you do, Avatar at the Tides? No idea. Coming in for 10 though. All right, so yeah, not a bad set of games. 7.5 victories and half a loss. Pretty good set. Again, that half a loss had we not skipped playing our token, we definitely would have won that one. And so, pretty good. This is pretty powerful. Again, like I really expected this to be good, given that we've had so much success with Fizz Riven. Fizz Riven didn't really need or I should say Fizz Riven didn't get a lot of wins with the Papercraft Dragon, and now you just get to cut all that shit out and add in Varus, which, as you can see with Varus, dude is quite strong, especially as we're out here dropping all these combat tricks, making our Elixir of Wrath deal like 5 damage, or if an Elixir of Wrath is going on to Flipped Riven, it does 8, and these champions are all extremely easy to flip. All these cards were quite strong, and so I was quite happy with everything we had going on here. As we had said earlier on, I'm not sold on wanting the Darkened Ballista. You could see in those games why I thought it was important to potentially have, given that the equipped cards are so strong in the Unending Wave, the Expanse's Protection, and the Momentous Choice, that if we end up in these spots to where we don't have the equipped unit, then we're in like a real bind. But with Varus being an equipped unit along with the Hookmaster, maybe we would be okay with just 1 instead of playing 2, because the second one was a pretty dead draw. I do think I would prefer the Darkened Ballista over Overwhelm Fists, whatever those things are called. We just absolutely did not need Overwhelm at any point in any of these games, and so I felt pretty okay without having the expense that goes in it there. Otherwise, really happy with the unit package. All of the Reforge is fantastic. The equipped units were great. The Forsaken Bakai is good stuff. It helps with these games to where you need to chip in like 4 or 6 damage to get your OTK really popping. So I was really happy with that. And then in terms of all the other cards, I think I was good with the 2 Unending Waves. This is not a card we want to draw 2 of. This is something we just play the last turn of the game. Same with the Expanse's Protection. It's up here into these Brothers' Bonds and Entrancing Lures that, like, I feel like 1 copy of Entrancing Lure is probably okay, just to get that kind of incidental option with Challenger, and then we have good Challenger targets with our quick attack tokens and everything, so I think it's probably fine. And I was actually exceptionally happy with Brothers Bond. We might actually want a second copy of Brothers Bond. That might be the change here, to drop 1 Darkened Ballista for 1 Brothers Bond. But at the end of the day, really powerful stuff. We just mowed through all of these untuned decks, but I think, again, this is something that should be quite strong against something like Nami Twisted Fate or Nami Lee Sin, any of those decks that their only interactivity is to put dudes on the board. Right, we now crush through all those dudes, and especially with the Nami nerf and we're trying to overwhelm through them, they don't get that bonus health. And then if the extent of their interactivity is going to be like Concussive Palms and Will of Ionias, then we're in a really strong spot to protect our units with these with these spell shields, and just having a spell shield be the way that we punch through that final damage. And so, good stuff. I mean, this strikes me as a deck that could be quite strong. We'll have to see how the meta shakes out over the next few days, but I wouldn't be surprised to see this be a real contender in this format. And so, that's it. I had fun with this. I hope you had fun with it too, because that is going to do it for us today. And so I hope you learned how to assemble a better bow TK. Hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.